Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome back to Learning by Faith. It has been a long time.
It's been a long time, but we are still here. We're still homeschooling.
Third year.
And yes, we're on year 3, which is crazy to believe.
So crazy.
But our last video, we talked about how we were going to talk about school choice, and we are still committed to doing that. So today's episode, we are going to talk about what school choice is, and particularly since we live here in Utah, we're going to talk about the school choice options that are available here in the state of Utah, and just that, how it can help facilitate learning beyond the classroom. So that's what we hope to talk about in our video today.
Yeah. So first, we just want to start, like, homeschooling is such a leap of faith.
An absolute
right?
leap of faith.
God wanted us to jump and just trust him in educating our kids and those life decisions and in that huge change. And so if you're feeling the prompting or the nudge to homeschool, try it. It's a leap of faith. It's a huge leap of faith, but it shows a lot of trust in God.
And something that we have found through this process is that we have come to know God better through this process, in trusting in him. And that we, particularly my wife, was feeling a nudge for many years before we finally made that decision. And that we documented in our earlier videos. But I just want to just tell people that we have come to know God and come closer to him as we have been on this journey.
Yeah, because I think when you take, like, those big leaps that feel really scary, but that you feel prompted to do, that's when you come to know God more deeply, right? And so it can be like,
yeah. And again, it was a leap of faith for us to choose a different path for our children's education when seemingly everyone around us was doing doing the public school option, and that was what everyone was doing. And so it was an absolute huge, I can't emphasize or overemphasize the leap of faith that it was for us. And so if you're watching this video, you're probably interested in it, or you're a member of our faith, or a member of our community here in Utah, or maybe you're homeschooling and you're feeling down and downtrodden about it all. Just know that we've been there, we feel you. But I know that if you just keep at it, and have the faith, take the faith route, that you'll have a lot more freedom for you and your family, and you'll see your family and your kids will thrive.
Yeah, and definitely, like, pray if you need to change it, ask if you need to change things. And sometimes we get too rigid thinking it should look like public school at home.
Yeah.
That's me.
But
we're going to talk about school choice today, and specifically, since we're in Utah, how the Utah Fits All school choice, what do they call it?
Scholarship. Yeah,
scholarship helps families make that leap with more confidence because they know how to fund it. So what is school choice?
School choice means that families have the power to decide how and where their children are educated. So it could be in public school, it could be private school, it could be a charter school, it could be homeschool, it could be online school. There's so many different, it could be private school, all those, like it could be so many different options. It pretty much, school choice just says the parents get to decide how.
And their funding isn't making the decision. Like, not having enough money to send a kid to a private school isn't the thing that's making the decision. The funding follows the student.
Yeah. So
not the system.
Yeah, great. So it's often called backpack funding. The funding will follow the kid in their backpack. Wherever them and their family decide to go is the best option for that family or that student. It's really interesting. Public education here in Utah remains fully available to every child in the state. It's actually guaranteed in our Utah State Constitution. And these school choice options don't eliminate public schools. They add to the possibilities for Utah families and Utah students.
Yeah.
Do you want to read how it's written in the Utah State Constitution?
Yes, in our Utah state constitution, it says the public education system shall include all public elementary and secondary schools and such other schools and programs as the legislature may designate. So this is one of those, another program.
Yeah. So this is, and the case that we're trying to say here is that this is not a public school versus private battle. It's just making sure that everyone has options. I think where the Utah Education Association, the UEA, that's the teachers union here in Utah. I think public educators, they are often scared of voucher programs and school choice programs, not only here in Utah, but across the nation, because they think that, well, gosh, all these kids, we're going to lose jobs. I think the future of public education might change a little bit, but it's not going to go away.
No,
I could see those teachers being rehired in all these other types of educational settings and different types of schools and in different ways. It just might not all be coming through the school district. And that's more of an open market, in my opinion, than what we currently have today, where it's a government-run school and it's a monopoly. The government has the monopoly on the education system here in our state. So I think it's just important to ensure that we have options and that the funding follows the student. So tell me a little bit about the Utah Fits All Scholarship.
Okay. So it's for, kindergarten through 12th grade Utah students, and you can use it for, so if you're a private school, they get up to $8,000 annually. If you are homeschooled, it says ages 5 to 11 receive up to $4,000 annually, and ages 12 to 18 up to $6,000 annually. And funds can be used on what kind of things?
You can use on tuition, curriculum, online classes. You can even get tutors, therapies, extracurriculars. There are some guardrails around the extracurriculars, but it can help fund extracurriculars. Fine arts, to ensure that
music lessons.
If a kid want to do music or art or a pottery class, or a welding class, a machine shop class kind of thing, it just allows the kid to
totally customize their education.
Yep. And that's so great. I wanted to make a comment. The funding amounts, it is a little odd that the scholarship, the way it's designed today, is prioritized. It feels like in the way they've designed it now, that it is prioritizing private education versus homeschoolers.
Yeah.
But the reality is homeschoolers don't need as much money. So I can see how they came to that conclusion.
I think even the amount they give homeschoolers is plenty.
Yeah, maybe sufficient. It's definitely sufficient.
It'd be hard to spend it all, I think. But
so if somebody is interested in Utah Fits All Scholarship, you would go to their website, obviously, and you would apply. And
you also have to opt out of public school. So if that's submitting an affidavit, saying we are going to homeschool.
Yeah, if you're accepted, you have to say that we will no longer participate in the public school system. But the other interesting thing is that the legislature has carved out that if you are a Utah Fits All Scholarship recipient, you can go back and take a class here or there in the public school. You just have to pay a fee, and each school district in the state of Utah has published their fee list, so that if you want to take the math class or choir, you can. There's already a fee schedule that says, hey, if you're going to take this class, this is how much it is for the year. And you have to pay for it out of your funds to pay directly to the school district, and then your kid can go there. So it is possible to be a school choice advocate, but then maybe take advantage of one of the options they have there, and then maybe an online course here, and then you're going to do these ones at home with your kid.
From a tech school or whatever. Yeah, you can really customize it. It's great.
Yeah, really good.
And most of the public in Utah actually agrees. There was a poll by the Hinckley Institute of Politics, and they found that nearly 62% of Utah registered voters support the Utah Fits All.
Yeah, it's so interesting. It's published in the Desert News. I think it was in June of this year I found it. The vast majority of Utahns support this backpack funding. So when you might hear from your local school district or the UEA that, oh, Utahns don't like it, that's not what the University of Utah's Hinckley Institute of Politics found. They did that poll and found that 2/3 of Utahns actually agreed with this option. So the legislature is actually acting in accordance with what the vast majority of Utahns
and
want.
I think that's meaningful because it shows families and voters that, or it shows us that voters see value in like educational options.
Yeah, and that's really great.
It's not a one size fits all.
Yeah. Speaking of not a one size fits all, it's so important with in homeschooling and considering all these different types of education options is that learning in the classroom is not the way that everyone learns. Life is a classroom. And so education happens everywhere. And it doesn't happen, like I said, with the teacher at the front of the class and the students sitting in front of the teacher.
Yeah. Like we've learned a lot on hikes in nature, right? You're learning about geology, you find a cool rock and then we look it up and what is this? And
or see an insect or a rodent or something.
Yeah.
Wildlife.
Yep. You learn budgets when you're shopping, you learn math, you're doing critical thinking, like how much do I really want that? Or should I buy the cheaper version of that? Even just big things like health and showering daily and washing our own clothes. I think a lot of kids are going to college these days not knowing how to do their own laundry, or
even cook, let alone like there's lots of kids that go on missions or go to college and they don't know how to cook.
Yeah, and homeschooling is great for this because you have the time. And like one of our kids needed a break from, I don't know, he was taking a break from math or something and he's like, I'm gonna go start my laundry in the washer. I'm like, good job.
Yeah, like
clean clothes.
I think some other ones in real world learning experiences too that happen, doing volunteer service opportunities in your community is really important. That shows your kids and teaches them about civic engagement and how to be involved in your community and in your neighborhood and be aware of the issues and look for ways to help people that are just in your own neighborhoods. And that's it gives you an opportunity to instill your values into your kids that way. There's even like online workshops or specialized tutoring that could, that can help your kid, learn other things that maybe in a traditional public school setting.
Yeah, maybe they're super interested in, I don't know, give me something.
Like becoming a nurse, like a CNA or something.
Yeah,
like that.
and they don't have those kind of classes at your school. So there you go.
Yeah.
You can take them.
Yeah.
So with the Utah Fits All, families have that flexibility to build those rich experiences into their education plan.
And not all kids thrive in the traditional setting. Like I say, these are different paths or different options that allow the family and the student to match their educational needs, the educational options with their needs that are unique to them, which I think is just so great. And
and that's kind of where the leap of faith ties in, was just like trusting that your child's education can be a little different but still really effective and meaningful and help them grow.
Yeah. So hopefully that's a good little overview of school choice and Utah Fits All scholarship and the potential that it can do for you and your family. We are not ignorant to the fact that the UEA is challenging this scholarship in court currently and arguing that it diverts funds from public schools. I will just say that it is not taking funds away from the Utah public education system. In fact, when this scholarship was first passed into law, I don't know how many years ago now, like 2 or 3 years ago, it was new money. It was money that wasn't currently
marked for the public.
Yeah, it wasn't already in the public school system. So
Yeah.
when the UEA says that the legislature stole these funds from the public education, that is simply false. This was new money that they allocated specifically for this program, but I think the UA thinks they're entitled to it. I'm going to play, from their viewpoint. I think they think they're entitled to it because the funds are used for educational needs. And so they think that all education goes through the public school system. So just hats off to our Utah legislature for having the gall and the gumption and the risk and the faith to take action and finally offer Utah families another option. The lower court did rule earlier this year that the program was unconstitutional. This was in April of this year, but they allowed it to continue during the appeal because the state of Utah is appealing this to the Utah Supreme Court. So it's still in that legal limbo right now. But despite the legal challenges, like I say, the poll data tells us
62% of Utahns who support it. So
and again, going back to what we said in the Constitution, the Utah State Constitution, I believe that the legislature is acting within their authority that's granted to them in Utah State Constitution.
Yeah, because we think that families should decide how a child should learn, not a system.
Yeah, and I think that's the core question, is to say that who should. That's the core question of, I think, what the Supreme Court is probably going to battle with, is who gets to decide what happens, who gets to decide what's the best education options for a child's learning needs. So really looking forward to seeing what their ruling ends up being. And I'm fairly confident that school choice will remain in Utah.
It's already in other states, and I think
there's definitely a trend going on nationwide, and so more to come on that. So just to kind of conclude this this video, is just to recap that school choice allows families to consider other options, and not just public school is the only option. Learning can
they're learning. Tailor their learning.
Yeah,
it can happen anywhere.
Yeah, it can happen anywhere. So it's really important to just have faith, and have faith in God. Trust that He can help you, and
take that action if you want to. If you feel the nudge,
just do it. I think we were saying earlier that if we just knew the things that we know now 3 years ago, or even 5 years ago when you first felt it, we would have done it. And that's what fuels us to keep doing these videos, is we know there's plenty of other families, and there's going to be other families after us that might see these and will need that hope and encouragement, or just when they're feeling like there might be something else out there for them. We're hoping that people will find hope in what we're sharing here.
Yeah. So just in the meantime, keep up with the updates on the scholarship and legal developments, any policy changes.
Mm-hmm. And I would say help other people understand about school choice, specifically here in Utah, if you're a Utah resident, how to keep up, to understand what the school choice is, show the poll data. I'll make sure to include that link into that article, to that survey results in this video comments. I would say talk to your friends, your neighbors, call legislators here in Utah, respectfully, let your voice be heard, and just let them know that you support school choice, and that it's important that that Utah families can choose what option is best for them.
Yeah. And just remember, when you trust God and take that leap of faith, you're not taking it alone, and He's there to help you.
Yeah. And then there's plenty of us. Reach out to people in your community who also are doing something different than the public school. There's actually quite a strong community out there, more than we ever realized. And it's so fun to see that your network expands, and you find other people who are feeling it like you are. So again, we'll leave with our call to action is, if you can just subscribe, comment with questions on this video, it helps others see it.
Or experiences you've had with programs like this or the Utah Fits All.
Or even share this video with somebody who wants to know a little bit more about school choice, or even to know more about how Utah's school choice scholarship works. We talked about high level, but that's the gist. Anyway, so there's some good things on the horizon, but we just wanted to share this quick update with you. So our next video, we've got another one coming that will we're going to do an update to a topic that we talked about a while ago in one of our original videos. We're going to go back to it and update it. So more to come.
Watch for another one.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Talk to you later.
Bye.